Welcome to our first practice tutorial of Feather. In this video, we are going to draw a simple interior sketch with some chairs, tables, and lights. Have a seat if you're familiar with Feather, but would like some practice. If you are new to the app, I recommend starting with the basic tutorial series. Okay, let's get started. First, we'll sketch a rough floor plan. Double tap to the side or front and switch to shape drawing mode. Draw and hold a straight line following the floor grid. Let's turn on the pen pressure option. Switch back to free drawing and set the stable stroke value to about 20% since it's a rough sketch. Hide the guide for a moment so we can see the grid clearly. In this sketch, we'll treat 2 grid squares as 1 meter, so keep that in mind. Draw one rectangle as 3 by 8 meters and the other as 4 by 5 meters. Then overlap them like this. After that, we'll mark where the windows and doors will be. Doors are usually 80 to 90 centimeters wide. Let's place another door here, a window over here, and let's say there's a staircase to the upper floor here. Once you're done, add a new group called Floor Plan and switch to the flat brush. Set the size to 80 and turn off the pen pressure. We are going to make the rough markings clearer so it looks like a real floor plan. Start by outlining the walls with this brush. Switch to the diamond type with a smaller size and pen pressure activated to mark the doors and windows. Hide the first group as we don't need it anymore. Let's add some information for the finish. I'll call this the living dining area. We'll draw this wall as a picture window. Maybe we can say this door leads to the balcony. This will be another window. And this door could lead to the kitchen. This passage will be for upstairs. Great. Before we draw the rest, let's add a reference line to help us gauge the scale from the side or front view. Draw a line 2.5 meters high and select it. And then rotate it so it can stand and put it in the center of the sketch. You can also place a human model alongside it for scale. Now let's add a new group called Wall Sketch. Feel free to switch the drawing mode if you want a neat and precise sketch. Close the guide and draw another one following the wall over here. Make the guide visible again. Assume the ceiling is 2.5 meters high and draw the walls based on the floor plan. Doors are usually 2 meters high. As we marked before, we'll place a picture window on this side. If it's troublesome, copy and paste the partitions like this. Then adjust their width so each partition is the same size. Let's continue drawing the walls. Copy the door we drew earlier and place it here. Draw the window on this side with a suitable size. Now it looks more like a room. There are many ways to make an interior sketch look more realistic, like adding moldings, utilities, or creating a level difference. But let's try the simplest method. Add a group named Floor Tile. Draw a guide following the floor grid again. Turn off the grid if you want and change the brush size to 15. Draw a grid of square tiles on it in the scale you want. This is a very simple way to add a sense of space to your sketch. Let's move on to the furniture. Add a new group and name it Furniture Sketch. We're going to draw a chair known as the Wassily chair. If you have a reference image, add it to the clipboard. It's totally fine if you don't. Turn on one side of the mirror as this chair is symmetrical. You can hide every group except one if you press and hold the eye icon like this. Change the brush size to 50 as we're going to draw the frame first. Draw a straight guide like this. Let's keep the floor plan group visible since we need to assume the scale of the room. Draw the front view of the chair frame like this. Try using Liquify if it's hard to draw the line at once. To use it, just select the curves you want to edit and press Liquify on the bottom menu. You can adjust the cursor's options right here. The inner circle of the cursor, which you can control here, is the area directly impacted by your action. If you're done, close the guide and draw another for the side of the chair. Let's duplicate the frame we drew and drag it behind it. Erase a bit of the legs from the bottom and then connect it like this. Let's see how it looks like. If you think it's too small, big, wide, or tall, control its scale with the 2D joystick. Now we'll draw the frames for the back and the seat. First, let's draw the frame that supports the side of the chair. Draw a guide along the leg from the front and draw the frame from the side. Now go to the side and draw a guide diagonally. Return to the front view to draw the frame like this. It's close to the original design, but we'll need to bend the top of the frame backward. Close the guide, select the frame, and activate the Liquify tool. Gently bend it a few times, checking from different angles to ensure it looks right. Nice. Let's draw the last one over here. Draw a vertical guide from the front and draw the frame perpendicular to the backrest. Great! All we need to do is draw the leather of each part. Add a new group called Furniture Color. Let's start with the backrest. Switch to the flat brush and set the size to around 100 to 120. Turn off pen pressure for now and fill in the backrest. Next, let's move on to the armrest. Add one for the top of the armrest and one for the inner side. There seems to be another piece at the bottom of the backrest, so let's fill that in as well. Finally, fill in the seat base. Once you're satisfied, select both groups and place them in the room. It would look nice to position two chairs facing each other by the window. Maybe we can add two more over here. Before moving to the next step, let's give the chairs some shadows. First, select all the chairs and open the color panel. Tap the icon here and turn on the render mode in the stage panel. Then, Go to the lighting settings on the Environment tab. Turn on the ground shadow option and adjust the light's position as desired. Use the button on the right to drop the shadow in the direction you're viewing. You can add shading to the chairs with lighter colors, but let's keep it in monotone for now, so it maintains that sketch-like look. We're almost done. Let's draw a simple round table. Add a new group called Table and switch the drawing mode. Draw a guide to set the height and hide the chairs for now. Change the brush type and size to match what we used for the chair frames. Now, press and hold from the top view to draw a perfect circle. Close the guide and draw a cross through the circle. A leg like this might go well with the chairs. Duplicate it, then rotate it 90 degrees. To fill in the table, we'll use a little trick. Select the circle and duplicate it. Double tap to switch to the top view and shrink it by about 50%. Change the brush type to the wide one and adjust its size until it fits the frame. Now, go to the color panel and select this icon, called Cutout, which makes the curves follow the background. You'll see the effect if you change the background color. A light, soft beige color would match the sketch nicely. Place the table between the chairs and add a smaller one below. Make sure to use the 2D scale feature to maintain its height. You might need to shrink the top of the table a bit more, as the scale feature doesn't adjust the brush size. Great job! Now, for the finishing touch, let's add a bar table along the picture window. Bar tables are usually 1 meter high and 40 to 50 centimeters deep, but feel free to draw it however you like. Let's pick up the injector and point the brush we used for the table over here. This way, you won't have to adjust the brush options one by one. Let's give it a bit of thickness by duplicating it once and draw the legs. This kind of long and high tables have additional frames like this. Draw a guide between the frames we duplicated to fill it in. Turn off the render mode so we can see what we are drawing right now. Draw a single stroke like this and make it wide enough to fill the frame. Well done! For the last detail, we're going to draw some lamp lights hanging on the ceiling. This part can be a bit tricky, so feel free to skip if you'd like. If you're ready, add a new group and name it Light Sketch. Switch the brush type to the diamond and the size to 40. If you're tired of drawing guides, you can use a primitive shape instead. Let's hide other things for a moment and place a cube here to use as a guide. Here is a reference image of the PH5 pendant lamp, which we will be drawing. Switch the material type to the flat one and draw a circle for the widest part of the lamp. Repeat duplicate, resize, and relocating the circles for each edge of the lamp. Now, slice the circles into half with a guide. If you draw a line that is not close to a circle or straight line in the shape mode, you can control its tension by pushing and pulling it after holding the end of the curve for a moment. Draw the silhouette of the lamp with this feature. It may need some time to get used to it. If you're done, add a new group so we can fill in the lamp. Now we're going to try using the loft. Press the button in the middle and select these two curves from the light sketch group. Press done, and you'll see there's the guide we needed. We'll change the colors later, so for now, just pick any distinct color. Press and hold the center of the lamp and pull it like this. If you change the brush type to the flat one and adjust the size, you'll make it. Duplicate a circle over here following the silhouette, and this time, loft the 3 circles in order. Color this part as well, but you don't need to be too accurate. For the head, duplicate the circle on the top, change it to the ribbon brush, and stretch its brush size. As you draw, you may end up with mixed curves in the same group like I did. In that case, just select the curves used for coloring and press this button to move them to the group you want. Select the group on top and change its color to any color you want. Maybe this time, it would look nice if we make it shaded. Place it over the table and draw a string to hang it. Let's add a simple lamp with a long rectangle like this over here. It doesn't need to look exactly the same as this. Hang it like we did just before. I'll place one more just to make some rhythm in the space. Seems a little bit too dark, so let's change the color. This, too, isn't absolutely necessary, but if you'd like to add a light effect, keep following. Select and duplicate the whole group from the menu over here. Change the group name and move them up so we can see them clearly. We're going to use these curves as the layer that glows, so we don't need this part. Select the rest of it and drag it slightly below the original. Change them to a brighter color and select the third material type here. We need one more thing to make them glow. Go to the Environment tab and tap the light bulb icon. In here, you can adjust the intensity of every glowing curve, but this effect is very heavy, so turn it on only when you want to see it. Brilliant! Let's place the cherry on top. Go back to the floor tile group with any color of brush. Draw a guide slightly below the grid and hide it. We'll give the floor a light texture feeling with the patterns. Change to the wide brush, select the flat material, and go to the pattern menu. Select the last one over here and set the first slider to 1% and the last one to 100%. These sliders control the pattern's density and contrast. Fill in the floor roughly and select it. Check the color you used for the background and input the same hex code for the floor pattern. Now you have a nice, gentle texture for the floor tiles. Place the human model anywhere you want, Erase or hide anything you don't need anymore. And finally, it's done. Thank you for joining this long journey with me. I hope you enjoyed getting used to feather and learning how to sketch in 3D. See you next time.